Hey everyone, welcome to Up All Night DIY. I'm Monica. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm participating in the Small Creator Sunday collab. This collaboration takes place every second Sunday of the month. It's hosted by my friend Tiff of Broke Girl Aesthetic, and our co-host this month is Dee of Designer's Loft. I'm making this cute bunny candle box. Let's get into it. I googled bunny silhouettes, then printed out 3 sizes of the same shape and cut them from MDF using my scroll saw. I'll base coat them white before covering them with tissue paper. This is Ceramic Coat white acrylic paint. I don't want the brown to show through the tissue paper when I cover them. 1 coat should do. I'm going to try 3 different methods for applying the tissue paper to see which one works best. First, I'll give my bunny a coat of Mod Podge. I also wanted to mention that you'll find links to both Tiff and Dee's channels as well as the playlist in the description box below. I'll lay my tissue paper over the bunny and burnish it down gently so I don't rip it. And I'll give it a top coat of Mod Podge. This is my medium-sized bunny. I thought this was such a pretty pattern. I'm using a sandwich bag to burnish where there's already that top coat of Mod Podge. You're supposed to use saran wrap, but I didn't have any, so I thought this might work as a good substitute. To remove the excess paper on this guy, I'll wet a paintbrush and dampen the paper at the edge of the bunny, and I'll pull away the extra paper. I pulled away a bit too much there, but that's okay. I'll sort that out later. This method does work well though. I'll continue until all the excess paper is removed. That saran wrap tip, by the way, is my friend Jackie Burns. She's awesome. I'll link her channel below as well. I'll use an emery board to sand the edges, removing any wee bits of paper. I give him my small bunny a layer of Mod Podge, and this guy will get the striped tissue paper. I'm creasing the paper along the edge with my fingers. This time, I'll cut away most of the extra paper with a pair of scissors, and then, with a sanding block, I'll remove the excess. And now, I'll add the top coat of Mod Podge. My large bunny will get this newsprint tissue paper. So he gets the coat of Mod Podge, then his tissue paper, and I'll burnish it down just the same. Top coat of Mod Podge. Then I'll cut away the excess as before, but this time I'll use the burn method, which I've never done before, and I do have a couple water handy just in case. The story is that the paper won't burn where the Mod Podge is. So, let's see. Here we go. There's still a wee bit there. Pretty cool. I like the singed edge. To give an aged appearance, I'll shade the edges with floating medium and hippo gray. I'll work the floating medium into my brush, scoop up a bit of paint on the corner of my brush, and I'll stroke my brush on my plate to load the paint into the bristles. So here's how I'm going to camouflage that missing bit of paper. I'm just going to shade right over top of it. With the paint side of my brush to the edge of the bunny, I'll shade around the perimeter, and I'll reload my brush as needed. Shading in his other ear, give it some definition. And I'll shade my other bunnies the exact same way. With my miter saw, I've cut a 1x5 to 10 inches. This will be the base of my box. I then cut a 1x2 into 5 sizes. One is 10 inches. This will be the front of the box. The sides are cut to 4 inches, and I've cut the back into 2 pieces because I want a space back there for the wire of my candle. So with wood glue, I'll connect the side pieces to the front, lining them up so that the edges are flush. Now, these bits of wood are a wee bit warped, so they won't be perfect, but no worries, I'll make it work. Once those pieces have dried, I'll glue them to the base and let that dry. Now I'll glue the back pieces into place. These pieces are the wonkier ones, that's why I put them in the back. And as I mentioned, I've cut one piece shorter so that the cord will easily fit. While that dries, I'll make some embellishments using silicone molds and hot glue. I fill my molds with some regular old hot glue. Then I'll tap it on the table to level the glue. They'll be set in a couple of minutes and they'll pop right out. I've made 2 hinges for the side and 2 for the front and a keyhole. I'll paint all of them first with rain gray and I'll set them aside to dry. I want to use some crackle medium on the box, so first I'll add some hippo gray in the areas that I want to crackle. Now I will say that I should have used a lighter gray here because the hippo is too hard to see when it does crackle. I'll jump ahead here. You can see that I just did patches of the hippo gray. Now I'll cover those patches with a thick coat of folk art crackle for acrylic paint. So if you want large cracks, you put on a thick layer. If you want tiny little cracks, then a thin layer. So I'll set this aside to dry and head back to the molds to dry brush them with hippo, then with charcoal to catch all the details in each of the little grooves of all the molds. Charcoal will be the top coat on the box. When using the crackle medium, you should only do a single coat to allow the bottom color to show through. Now, while I can see the hippo through the crackling, it doesn't show on camera, and it definitely would have been better if I used a lighter gray like drizzle. Since the contrast isn't enough for me, I decided to dry brush a patina on the hardware with seafoam, and I dry brush the box as well. I'll glue the hardware molds into place. I started with craft glue, but switched to hot glue. I glue my bunnies together. I did use both craft glue and hot glue for this. And to be sure that they're level, I'll stand them up on the table. I cut a wee notch on the center bunny so I can run the candle cord through it. I'll line up the notch on the bunny with the gap in the back. I'm checking to make sure it fits before the glue fully dries on the bunnies. And that's good. It's nice and snug. I'll add my candle to the box before I secure the bunnies, making sure that the wire is through the opening. I'll pop the bunnies into the box, again, making sure the cord passes through the notch on the middle bunny. I add a wee bit of hot glue along the back where the large bunny meets the box. I add a bead of glue to the smaller bunny for instant hold, since that craft glue is still wet. I'll put in the candle bowl, fill the box with greens, flowers, and such. And there you go. I like this because it works for both Easter and spring. I think all three methods of applying the tissue paper worked really well. Buyer method was the quickest, but if you're looking for a clean edge, I think the second method is best. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks to Tiff and Dee for hosting. Please be sure to check out the playlist. Supplies are in the description box, along with links to Tiff and Dee's channels, the playlist, and Jackie Burns' channel. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Stay creative, my friends. Thanks for hanging with me. See you next time. Up all night with Monica.